Hello and welcome to another episode of Momento Malum today. The Cherimoya is a semi-deciduous fruit tree that has its origins in the Andean regions of Peru and Ecuador. This is a quite tasty fruit with a flavor akin to fruit punch and a considerable market demand. The cultivation of this species began gathering major interest within the 90s. Since then, the cultivation of the Cherimoya has expanded from its center of origin to several subtropical regions. Such examples include California, Chile, Ecuador, Israel, Peru, and southern Spain and Italy. For the better utilization and conservation of this species gene pool, Dr. Francisco Perfectti and Dr. Luis Pascual would use isozyme genetic marker technology to learn about the genetic diversity and the domestication history of this species by analyzing 107 Cherimoya cultivars, and here are the results. It was found that Madeira, Spain, and Bolivia had the lowest level of genetic diversity, but Peru, Ecuador, and the USA show the highest level of genetic differentiation between cultivars. Since Peru and Ecuador encompass the center of origin of the species, and this region has the largest number of cultivars, this makes sense in the context of how wide the gene pool is. The United States also has a continuous number of cultivars from across the world being added into their gene pool, which would likewise increase the overall size of the gene pool within the American cultivar population. Many other nations, however, underwent a genetic bottleneck, which would reduce the total size of the gene pool overall. If you want to donate to my channel, the links are below. If you want to buy my book, you can also find that link in the description box below. The predominant model of Cherimoya domestication was that it probably occurred in Peru and Ecuador in pre-Columbian times. This model was supported by the genetic variation within its area, with Ecuador and Peru having the highest level of genetic diversity. Cultivation will expand from these areas, possibly both by seed and vegetative propagation, and the cultivars would move into other parts of South and Central America, with genetic bottlenecks and founder effects reducing the gene pool in these regions, and defining the character of these different land races and cultivars. Mexico would be the primary source of cultivars, which would come to California, and still other cultivars arrived from Mexico to Spain and Italy. Although in most cases the domestication process, the process of domesticating a plant would also erode the gene pool. This is a general rule, with exceptions. Such examples include the olive, the date, the mango, and the fig. Based on the cited paper, it is likely that the Cherimoya also falls under this category of exceptions. Indeed, based on the genetic evidence, the domestication process did not cause a decline in the gene pool. However, the spread to other regions did reduce the gene pool to varying degrees, with the largest amount of genetic erosion happening in Europe, due to the use of a few founding cultivars extensively in breeding projects. This would reduce heavily the overall size of the gene pool. The center of origin, however, remains mostly uneroded in terms of the land races and cultivars, and although there is a slight genetic bottleneck in the regions outside of that center of origin, is not as great as what has happened in Europe. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching.